Everybody, round of applause for Jenny for providing all the tasty treats.
Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good time. My name is Jenny and I run Tasty Treats, which is a tea room and gift shop across from the Home Hardware and Post Office in Markdale. My love of tea started with going over to my grandma's house, and every time you walked in the door, the first thing she said was, "Put on the kettle and we'll sit and talk." And over the years, it's always been a symbol of getting together with family and friends, and it's always been something that connects you. It's been on my adventures as kids and I go hiking or out in the boat. So it's something that has always been a big part of my life. And then I went to college and was exposed to loose leaf tea and learned about the various types and various flavors, and it just became something that I wanted to dig deeper into. So I started the tea room in order to create a place for the people in the community to come to and connect with their friends and family, and so that I could get to know everyone here better as well.
There's never a week that we miss. We go every week, and we usually close the place. She has to kick us out.
What days are you open?
I'm open from Wednesday through Sunday from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So I was asked if I might share with you some tips on how to prepare a good cup of tea at home. Now it starts with knowing what type of tea you're dealing with, because green tea is processed differently than black tea. They're both from the same plant, but they're processed differently, and then they need to be treated differently in order to get a good cup of tea out of them. Green tea is a much more delicate leaf because it has less processing. So when you're making a cup of green tea at home, instead of using boiling water, you want to start with water, well, good quality water for starters, warm up the pot, and then about 80-degree temperature for 2 minutes for green tea. Now, 80 degrees is tricky to tell without the thermometer, but a good way to do that is you boil the water and let it sit for about a minute. If you pour it in the cup and you can put your hands around the cup and touch it comfortably, your tea is probably fine. If it's too hot for that, it's probably too hot for your delicate green tea leaves as well. Now, black tea, after heating the pot so it doesn't cool off when the water hits, you want to use water that's freshly boiled and steep it for about 4 minutes is usually good. If you want your tea to be stronger, instead of steeping it longer, it's better to use just a little bit more tea to start with, because steeping tea too long can bring out the bitter components. Tannins and caffeine, for example, are bitter flavors that come out in the tea if it sits in hot water too long or if it overheats. Typically, what you want per 6 to 8 ounce cup is about 2.5 grams of tea. And for most teas, that'll be a teaspoon. Now, some of them, you've got bulky leaves that it takes a bit more, or some are processed in a way that it rolls them into tiny little balls, and it takes less than that, but you're looking for about 2.5 grams per cup of tea. So I am going to set up at the back there with some teas that I brought with me, and I invite you to come back and try them out. I'll tell you a little bit more about them as we've got them in front of us to taste. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.